Awesome. Hello, hello, hello. Great, beautiful, blessed Wednesday. Hi. How you doing? How mama doing? Hello. So if you've never seen me before, thank you for the likes. I am Tennille Stewart. I help women who've been diagnosed with lupus go from confused and discouraged to healed, hopeful, and in control of the medical narrative. And today is day 21 of May, which is Lupus Awareness Month, and we're doing a mini pod every day in May. Thank you so much, Mr. Diamond Inc. 2.0. I love that. So I'm on all platforms. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, all the things. So come see me. Send it to your friend who has a chronic illness or has lupus and wants to be informed or, talk about things that people don't know to talk about with them. If you can see me everywhere, pretty please send me a holler. I got people on the tickety tockety. I see you, Timothy. Thank you for joining. Okay, cool. So we got people. So today's episode is going to be about working while you have a chronic illness. A lot of the times, because it is a invisible illness, people do not understand that even if you might look capable of working, you are not exactly capable of working. I love to work, actually. I love to make my own money. I've always had jobs since I was 15. Like I when I was a little kid, my parents gave me an allowance since I was 5. And I used to do chores and they would give me an allowance and then they would take out taxes and savings. And at the end of the year, I would get my taxes back. I get a refund and I could buy presents or whatever for like Christmas. I loved that. I felt so grown up. And so when I was legally able in Florida to get a job, I got a job. I was like, okay, make this money, okay? And I was ripping and running until I moved back to New York and got sick. And it was very foreign to me to not be able to work the way I used to work. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate you, Mr. Diamond Inc. You are dope. Yes, Sagittarius is we win. We win always. So I was very uncomfortable not being able to work. And whenever I could work, I would work. And I would work myself until I got sick. I remember at one of my waitressing jobs, I think it might have been Applebee's, that a coworker, he used to always tease me for going slow. He's like, oh, you walk so slow, you walk so slow. Not him not knowing that I'm legitimately in so much pain and I'm just trying to get through the day. So it's rough out there for not being able to work to your full potential, especially if you know what it's like to work when you're not sick and you have all of that. Like my first ever waitress job was terrible. I was like, I was so scared of making mistakes that I didn't really do much. But then the next waitressing job I had, I was killing it. I was getting it. I was doing good. Okay. And I loved it. It's like a game in my head, like remembering the orders and balancing all the plates and like getting things correct and seeing how big of a tip I could get because I was being so good, building relationships with people. And it just broke my heart that when I was progressively getting sicker, uh, I was slower. I wasn't as good at remembering orders. I couldn't carry as much. My coordination wasn't as good because I was worried about being in pain. I was worried about falling over, et cetera, et cetera. People don't think about that kind of stuff because they just see you at the job. And if you don't have to disclose your medical whatever. It is it's a personal thing. And like at the same time, you don't want anyone to look down on you and think like, oh, they can't do blah 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 blah. When sometimes you can. Sometimes you are at your full potential, and that's amazing. So I love it. So it is an emotional toll that it takes when you know you can do better and you are not doing well. And then there's this guilt that you have when you must step down from working. When I had my first like major flare up that I was in the hospital for months, I the last day I worked at that job was I was struggling to get dressed. And my mother was like, "What are you doing?" She came into the room, um, and I was gonna be late. I could not get my pants on. My legs were swollen, they were hurting, and I could not get my pants on. I was crying a little bit, not like boo-hooing, but like, little thug tear or two. And I was just like, ugh, like trying to get my pants on. And she's like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "I gotta go to work. I have the shift, da da da." And she's like, "No, you're not going." And I was like, "What do you mean? Like, I have to, whatever." So I'm still trying to put my pants on, not paying her any mind at all. And this woman calls my job and says she cannot even put her pants on. She is not coming to work. I don't care what happens. She's not coming. Figure it out. And my managers and stuff we were all really cool. Matter of fact, my 21st birthday, after my first ever major flare up, um, they came, they like parents through like a gala of sorts, and they came and gave speeches and whatever, and so they knew kind of what was going on, but people don't believe it until they really see it. So yeah, my mom just told them, I'm not she's not coming back. And I wasn't fired, but I just did not come back because I just progressively got sicker from there, and I was in the hospital for that 3 months, then in the rehab for a month. And people from my job came and visited me and stuff. It's just they did not understand until they see it. If I tell you I'm in pain, but you cannot physically see something is broken or something is sore or whatever it is, it's it's an invisible illness. So it's tough. And on that note, like feeling guilty when you have to step down because I was used to making a certain amount of money. I was used to paying all my bills in a certain way, easily actually. I always had My dad always said, leave this much in your bank account at all times, and then everything else pay your bills with and pay this with or whatever. So I was really uncomfortable stepping down from having that job. I had no choice. Thinking was hard. Thinking is hard because of brain fog, but also trying to focus when you have pain is chronic pain, like consistent pain all the time, just a certain level of pain. It's hard to be nice. It's hard, like, I'm always in customer service jobs. I love talking to people. So it was hard to be nice. It was hard to keep things organized in my brain. It was hard to not come off as grumpy, even if I wasn't grumpy. It was that I was sleepy from the fatigue and in pain. And it was just hard to be like as cordial as I would like to be. So if you come across someone like here in Georgia, I've come across the worst customer service in my whole entire life. So I don't know about giving grace to every single body, but uh honestly, sometimes you should just give people grace because you don't know what they're going through. They could have an invisible illness. They could be struggling with a chronic condition or pain. They could have lupus, which is all of those things put together. Um, but yeah, it's it sucks to not have the understanding of an able-bodied person. Like, I guess it's because if you're always saying you're sick, or people are used to you saying you're sick, but they still don't understand it. Like, unfortunately, people got it once I was in the hospital and I was hooked up to all the machines and in the ICU and in the rehab, all that. They understood after that. It shouldn't have to get that far. It shouldn't have to get that far. Oh, I didn't even say that today is National Waitstaff Day. Is that what it's called? Hold on, let me make sure I'm not making that up. Yes, Waitstaff Day. And that's another reason why I'm talking about waitressing specifically. I've had so many jobs. I, and I like fat jobs, food places, always food service. My family's in food service in general, so I just kind of end up there. But um yeah, it's a lot to not be able to do what you previously could do. So now I'm gonna talk about two more things. So when you are going from a place where you have consistent income, you can control your income, you understand how that's going to go, to be dependent on the government, to be dependent on your family, that kind of thing, it is so heartbreaking. Like, I don't know I personally do not know one loopy who is like, let me just chill. Like, this is fine. I'm good with this. Like, it's embarrassing to be a grown up that has to find ways to pay their bills. It's it's embarrassing, especially if you worked hard to do something. I went to school, got a degree, and used it for like a few months. I have a degree in nutrition that I had one job in that was terrible. And because I was just out of school, they gave me like the lowest paying. It was a far away. I had to pay a toll both ways. I was in living in Mount Vernon, commuting to Long Island, and there's a $12 toll at that time, both ways, and I was getting paid $12 an hour. Ugh. I was so I was so mad. However, uh, it was something to hire me so I'd have experience so I could get a better job. The stress of sitting in traffic both ways to go to this job that I didn't want to be at was insane. And you know what stress does? Boom, boom, boom. It's flare up, flare up. You get a flare up. You get a like. It's pretty bad. And people don't think about that kind of stuff. Like you're doing your due diligence and getting spending money. I paid out of pocket for school. Like really was working every time I was in any kind of school, working before school, working after school, and to make sure I could pay for everything, and then not get to use the degree because you're too sick, because they stress you out too much. It's just a big mind f. It's crazy. So, um, uh, when I was 25, 4, they put me on SSI, disability, right? SSI? Is that what it's called? It's Social Security, disability. SSDI, that's what it is. SSDI. Um, and that I cried. Like, first of all, I had nurses go to bat for me to apply to get me on it because I was in the hospital, and they you automatically are getting denied. Like the first time you try it, you're automatically getting denied. Like I looked like potato head, like I'm looking crazy, and they still were denying me. But there were multiple nurses in that hospital that were like, "No, she needs it. No, she needs it." Like they interviewed with people, they different social workers and nurses were putting in different paperwork for me. Like they went to bat for me, so I got it. Only to find out I got it and just hysterically cry because I was like, "No, like now they got me. I got because even if I got out of the hospital and got better and got a job, there's a cap on how much I can make. I'm not meant for that kind of control. Like I'm a rich girl. Like that's my mentality is of a rich girl. So like I was very I was distraught. I was real sad about it because like I calculated my bills. I could do it. I had to get a new car because right before that flare up, I totaled my car. Um, that's a whole other story. I'll talk about that another day. Um, yeah, so I calculated I had exactly enough for a car payment. I told them exactly how much I was gonna pay. I was like, I think it's $200 I was gonna pay. And when I went to get a car, they made it to $200.25 a month. And like so that the rest of my bills were paid according to this social security. The social security is supposed to be like uh 60% of your bills or something like that it'll cover it, and then you're supposed to be able to get more or less as time goes on to requalify. Da, da, da. But I was heartbroken. I worked so hard to get there, and then in a few months all of my hard work was gone, and I was depending on the system, and it was embarrassing. I was in my 20s. I was supposed to be in my prime. I was supposed to be like dipping and doing it. And I was not. I was indeed not dipping it or doing it, and it was not great. What a miraculous and divine recovery you received, Tennille. Thank you. Thank you so much, Mitch. Yeah, it literally was. It literally was miraculous. I had so many people praying for me. So I'm going to bring this in for landing and say it is not weakness to rest. You are not failing because your body needs time to recover and more care and more love and attention. There are there's new pathways with work that will help you with your health, not against you. There's remote work, there's advocacy, there's creative things. There's so many other avenues than the ones you're used to, the traditional ones. You do not have to be trapped in a 9 to 5, struggling to get things done because of brain fog and tiredness. Take control of your life. Take control. It is not you're not failing because you can't play their game. Make a new game. Find a new way. There are so many ways to make money. There are so many ways that you can make things work out for you. And I have full confidence that all of my Lupis can do it. Full confidence in you. I know you can do it. And reach out if you need help, if you need ideas, if you feel discouraged about getting a job, making a career that you love. I love you, Loopy. I love you. I just, it's going to be okay. And you can do this. You're not failing. So that is the end of day 21. And have a great night. And I will talk to you tomorrow for day 22. Stay happily healed. Bye.